Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Watson Michael here from Ceylon Institute of English and Leadership, and we're glad to have Dr. Gary DePaul back with us. For those who don't know, he's the Executive Leadership Development Consultant at Gary DePaul Leadership, the Distinguished Principal Research Fellow at the Conference Board. Also, he's the Adjunct Professor, Department of Educational Leadership at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. So, Gary, welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be back. Excited about this. It's nice to talk about something besides leadership, but there's a lot of leadership in this topic as well.
Absolutely. So, we're going to talk about your book. It's called the HRBP Report. So, why did you name the book the HRBP Report?
Yeah, why don't I tell you the origin of it? That'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed 18 human resource business partners, HRBPs.
Okay.
And asked them the same questions.
Yeah.
I didn't have a goal of writing a report, but it ended up that there was such rich information in there that anyone can use. You don't have to be in HR to appreciate it. That I wanted to share it, and so I came up with this concept of the HRBP report, and I decided to make it a series. So this is the 2022 HRBP report is the first one. I'll do another one in a couple of years from now.
Wow.
But yeah. And this is what it looks like. And it's not very thick, but it has lots of information in here that is very insightful for anyone who happens to be in HR, but anyone in business could benefit from this.
Yeah, so I mean, like looking at that, it looks like a very attractive magazine, right? And it looks very attractive to read as well. And so this is going to be a continuous series. So like every couple of years, there's going to be a new version coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this one was really about the role itself of the HRBP and what makes it successful. What have people have done to be successful in this role, which is what this is about. And I may interview chief HR officers to talk about the role and get a different perspective, but it's to give some insight into what it takes to be successful in this role, but also in performance consulting, which is a big part of what they do.
Wow. All right, great. So we have noticed that some people in organizations are like, they're reluctant to speak up. The main reason is that they feel that some HR teams are only for namesake, right? What do you think of that? And how will this book help those in need?
Yeah, if you think about HR departments, they were built and designed by companies to protect the companies originally.
Yeah.
And that's what they do, but something's evolved in the last in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Where if you end up supporting the employees, it's a way of protecting the company.
Yes.
Now, but to your point, there's a lot of people suspicious of anyone in HR, you know?
Yeah.
They're out to get me. They're compliance officers. They want to find out what I'm doing. Am I working hard? Am I not working hard? And and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this particular role that I focus on, it's more of a strategic role.
Okay.
That supports business units. So like the chief information officer, the chief financial officer.
Yes.
And what this role does is represents the people, but from a business perspective, and helps with any the business leaders with any HR requests,
Mm.
if they need training, if they need to restructure,
Yeah.
if they need to plan for the future workforce, the HRBP is supposed to help with all that.
Wow. So like this, it's ideal for C-suite level employees as well as it's ideal for HR managers. Like even it would be ideal for university students as well, isn't it? Like to gain some good knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. What specifically with this report, this could benefit a lot of people
Mm.
because they take a what my research shows is that they take they consider themselves to be business leaders, shepherds, counselors, trusted
Mm.
advisors, and they protect the brand of the company and the culture if they're doing it right. And the other thing that's really there's two other things interesting about this role. They ensure that the tactics that they're being asked to do supports the strategy,
Yeah.
and they help the executives think about what they're doing from a problem, a results or a solution neutral perspective, and really focus on the desired results and not the solution.
Yeah.
So it's really important that they that when executives come to them and they want something like training, that the HRBP helps change that conversation from I'm going to give you training to I'm going to help you resolve a problem and focus on results. So it's a different type of HR than what most people would think of, but
Mm.
there's a lot that anyone can learn from what makes them successful that could help any employee be more successful in whatever role they have.
Wow. Okay. So it's pretty impressive actually. So it's done. The structure is very nice the way you explained. So that's phenomenal, I would say. Right. So can you describe a significant chapter to whatever? It's up to you from the HRBP report.
Yeah. In the report, I identified 7 success factors, things that make HRBPs successful in what they do, highly accomplished and highly skilled. And most of the HRBPs I interviewed have more than 10 years experience. There
Wow.
were a couple with less, but they were all very accomplished.
Okay.
And I'll tell you about 2 of the success factors and the first 2. And this is you'll understand, Watson, why I mean that anyone could benefit from it when I talk about this first one,
Mm.
which is it's very simple. Seek
Yeah.
support.
Yes.
In
Correct.
other words, you want to if you're going to be an HRBP, you
Yeah.
want to avoid trial and error learning.
Yeah.
Training courses, they may be insufficient. What these particular professionals say is, hey, you need to seek mentors
Yeah.
and sponsors to help you navigate the company, help you with your career path, and to open doors for
Yes.
you that you may not be able to open. And it's crucial to do that and also seek support from your peers.
Yeah.
So just from saying that anyone can do that, uh, the seeking support, getting mentors, getting a sponsor, which is just someone who can do more than just mentor you. They
Yeah.
can help you with your goals, with
Correct.
how you want to grow and develop.
Yeah.
Um, it's a really important part of that role.
Wow.
And I'll tell you another one which anyone could benefit as well, and that's the
Yeah.
second one, which it's very simple. And by the way, when you read these titles for the success factors, they seem intuitive, like, yeah, that makes sense. I understand how to do that. But when you get in the details, a lot of people don't do it. Um, the second one is learn the business.
Yes.
when people are in HR, you have to know something about HR, but
Correct.
the successful people, the really good ones, learn about the business perspective. So think of the macro view,
Yeah.
learning the business environment, the industry, who your
Correct.
competitors are, what are the
Absolutely.
yeah, all those things. Um, and even knowing what the strategy is of the company. So
Mm.
if I was supporting you and say you're the chief information officer of a company and
Yeah.
you wanted to make some changes, if I was the HRBP, I would need to understand what the enterprise, the strategy of the enterprise is, and help ground you into making sure that what you need aligns with the strategy of the whole company.
Yes.
So think you have to learn the key financials. If it's a public company, the annual, you would go to the annual report. How do you go to market? Who are with any company? Who are your
Yeah.
suppliers? Who are your investors? What is the process? What are the products and services?
Correct.
And learning about this stuff, which may seem like to have nothing to do with your
Mm.
role, regardless of what it is,
True.
but if you learn the bigger picture and you learn those things, you can appreciate your role more from that perspective, and you can help other people go above and beyond what
Yeah.
they're doing. So it's a critical thinking, it's a systems thinking approach to how you do things. So you um that's part of it. The other part of learn the business. So if I was supporting you, you're the
Yeah.
CIO,
Yeah.
I need to learn about technology.
Absolutely.
What are your certifications? What
Mm.
is it that you have to do and people have to do in technology to be successful? And the more I learn about that, the more I can support you as the CIO because that gives me more perspective. So
Yeah.
that's sort of like the micro view, getting the business units learning their functionality, their professional standards, the
Yeah.
accreditations, their continuing education requirements.
Yeah.
It all helps. So those are two, and I call them chapters, but they're really short. They're about 4 or 5 pages,
Mm.
but they give you the what you really need to know. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Learning the business can help you go beyond what you do, even if it's just stocking products. If
Mhm.
you learn about the what's going on in the business, that
Yeah.
actually could affect your role in a positive way.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I totally agree because if you don't ask, it's going to be hard, right? And I'm actually honored. I'm sure as well as you, Gary, we are mentors, right? So I was recently, because when I opened this company 18 months back, I got some I got a law student, right, who is still there with me, who still comes to learn leadership and business English. So one day he told me that I'm a mentor to him, like before I offer him that, right? But I was actually like a mentor to him because I used to go way beyond an advice. So he always asks me a lot of doubts and so many things. Like I was like, wow, this guy. And when he was telling, his eyes was full of tears. Like so, I was like, I got melted. I was so happy, right? So if you really need something, you should ask. I mean, and
Yeah, yeah,
another,
definitely. And to your point, when you're mentoring someone, you really need to have a lot of empathy and
yes,
understanding of what they're doing, where they're coming from.
100%.
And yeah, and HRBPs, they need to do that with the people, the executives they support.
Mm.
And we both need mentors and we need to mentor. It's a dual role that anyone in the corporation or organization could play. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
people need to come and find support and find people like you. And I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah,
because you don't have to get a mentor or someone to champion you who's from your company or your
correct.
business. Going outside can be exceptionally helpful. And going outside gives you a different perspective as well.
Yes, totally, totally. I agree. Because yeah, and you said the per chapter it's about 5 to 6 odd pages, right? But and you said it covers the content. So I totally agree with you on that because you can cover the content in a few pages. So it's something similar like the HBR, Harvard Business Review, the 20-minute read, so something like that, right? So it's really good. I mean, it's short, it's brief, and you cover all the content. So that's
Yeah,
something, yeah,
yeah,
unique.
it raises what I wanted to do was raise awareness about what you should be doing. I don't tell you how to do it because I didn't cover that with my interviewees, but other than finding mentors and things like that, but the details I won't go into, but it gives you enough information to help you think about your role and what you're trying to accomplish and whether you're on track or not. So, you don't have to be an HRBP to appreciate it. Those 7 success factors can really shape and help you rethink what you're doing and help you get to the next level.
Absolutely. So if anybody reads all four of Gary's books, I would suggest you have knowledge equal to a leadership degree. Okay, right? So it's all the same, right? It's all books. End of the day, right? It's good books. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
So Gary, will this book help those outside Norm?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, if you have an organization that you're working in, the things I just talked about, learning about the business, what your company's trying to accomplish, just doing that can help give you purpose and it can help give you perspective of your role in the larger system. So the book can help anyone who's in any organization in any country, they can start thinking about their role and what they do a little bit differently than what they currently think.
Absolutely. So I totally agree with you, right? So and you count vast experience, and you have done like a lot of podcasts with many overseas nationalities, right? So based on that
Yes.
experience, you're taking all that experience and you're putting it into your books. You're giving your heart out and you're putting all that knowledge in these books, right? So definitely, it's a worth
You
it.
know, you know, you just gave me an idea, Watson.
Yeah,
Maybe the next report is finding HRBPs outside of the United States
yeah,
and interviewing them like I did and see if that comes up with a different perspective or if it comes up with something, if there's an overlap with the ones that I interviewed in the continental US. It's that I think you gave me a good idea for the next report.
sounds good. Sounds good, Gary. Right? Don't forget to mention my name, right? Okay, I'm just kidding.
I give you credit for that one.
That's a good one, right? That's a good one. Okay, right. So I'm looking forward for that book. Okay, in another couple of years, right?
Yes.
So the next one is: can you summarize this book in one word or one sentence?
Yeah, so I don't think I could do it in one word. So maybe a sentence like the HRB report describes what HRBPs do to be successful in supporting the business from a people's perspective.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So the final message to all our viewers: what would you like to tell them? Like who need motivation? Gary DePaul's
Yeah,
message.
yeah. What I would say, and I'll go back to what a little bit of what I talked about before.
Sure.
If you're in an organization, you need to think outside of your role. And when you do that, when you start learning the business, start learning the business environment and really dig into what your organization does, it opens up some opportunities that you may not normally have. For example, if you want to learn about your suppliers, ask just ask someone who handles that part of the business,
Yeah.
and have conversations with other people in the company and or whatever the organization is. What is it that you do? Let me learn a little bit about your role, and that might open up some new ideas for where you want to go in your career. But at the same time, it helps you learn about the business and build that business intelligence. So I highly recommend
Mm.
learning, introducing yourself to people in other departments and finding out what they do and how they do it and how it affects the company. It could really change even your career path.
100%. Very true. Right. So thanks, Gary. Thanks a lot for taking time and doing this podcast with us. And all those watching, please connect with us on LinkedIn. And if you need a mentor, you could always reach out to us. We'll see how we can help you as long as it doesn't clash with our schedules and timings.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I forgot to mention, and I should have mentioned this earlier, you can
yeah,
download the report for free, the PDF of it from my website, GaryADePaul.com. There's different formats. You can go to Amazon and buy a paper copy
yeah,
or the Kindle edition, but you can download the full report in its entirety for free,
yeah. So
which I
there you
highly
go.
recommend.
There you go, everyone. So you're getting a free book, okay? Gary is giving a PDF free version. All right. So download the book if you enjoy it. Treat us for a cafe latte, right? Gary, would you mind showing that book again, like so the people will
Oh,
get?
yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's HRBP Report 2022, right? So it's Gary A. DePaul PhD,
Yep.
and for those who want to go to the website, it's www.garyadepaul.com, right? So thanks,
That's
Gary.
it.
Yeah. Thanks, Gary. So
Thank you.